What's good, everyone? Actually, let me see if that's working. Alright, looks like it's decently working. Yeah. Just another part 2 thing. Just showing you, something I've been working on. It's a different kind of setup. I threw it all together. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that down a little. I don't need to hear it that loud, but alright, just doing a little bit of adjustments. Yeah, this is another one of those streams where I don't do gaming stuff all the time. I have other hobbies that I like to do, and this is one of them. So, if there's that tech-savvy part of you in there, I think you'll like this. Now, just a little bit of background. I did do a stream like this before, except this camera here was just focusing on this screen, and it is a little bit laggy. It is going over Wi-Fi instead of the usual USB connection thing. Some logging stuff. Alright, so when I woke up, I built a few more packages, and I made sure to get this thing started before I went to work earlier, just because this one takes a long time. This one is the C and C++ compiler. If you know what the new compiler collection is, or GCC for short, this particular setup, basically, it compiles one stage of it, and then that stage compiles another, so it's like optimizing it. You want to have something that can compile efficiently, but also time efficient, so you don't have to wait as long for, say, a big program to finish compiling and stuff. Oh, and also, this thing back here is a nice little docking station that's connected to this laptop. Hence why it's got that USB in there. This is just some more code and stuff running off that USB. Honestly, I think that docking station is pretty cool. I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Oh. Alright, turn my keyboard on. There you go. Oh, that's cool. Nice light up thing I got for my birthday last month. And also, yeah, I got an HDMI thing over there. I put it on the screen so that it makes things easier to see. Actually, I think I might scale this down a little bit. Just so that you can see more of what's over here on the left. Alright, so we gotta make a symbolic link. Yep, there's that link. The first thing in that directory. Oh man, you can actually barely see anything. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and do some moving around here. I'm gonna move this up there. There you can kind of see it. Like I said, there's gonna be some moving around and stuff, but let's see what I can do. Okay, I didn't want to move up that much. Okay. Alright, that looks good. Ethan, get out of here. I know a Linux hater when I see one. Alright. Let me see if I can move this down. Let's try 960. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Alright, that's not enough. Let's try 720. At least get something started. 480, 720. This is gonna go to sleep. Yes, we do have Windows on the right. But that's only because I need it. You know what? I think that works pretty well. Maybe we can bump it up a little bit. Heard about SteamOS, the operating system that runs the Steam Deck? Yeah, that runs Linux. That runs Linux. They're going to make some for PCs. Cool. Now we can have a Steam-based operating system for your everyday computer. The ultimate gaming machine if you love using Steam to manage and launch your games. I mean, I can't blame you. I use I've been recently running games off of Steam VR when I use the link cable now. It just makes things easier. How was that? Link that. Have you done the work for our IT class yet? I mean, not the lab sims, but just because I've already got those done. But for the other things that were assigned, yes, I have. I keep up. Even though that guilty pleasure of mine says, hey look, you've got all this free time and stuff. Just blow off work. Blow off your schoolwork. Nah. I'm better than that. Well. Well, that's what happens when you procrastinate. That was the first thing we learned about in that class was like how to fight off procrastination. I remember that. Let's see. I can't type. I can't type. Nah, I'm fine. LA, because we hate libtool archives. So get rid of that. I left bro speechless. Because he knows that I'm right. Oh, wait, nope, that was an emoji. Because right now what I'm looking at... Hold up. That's what I'm seeing up there. That chat bar on the right side, when it comes to like rendering emojis and stuff, that takes a while compared to like other text. Even though those I don't know what those are in the chat. The third thing in that list. The third thing you sent, Ethan, that came up immediately. And yet the emoji took a while. Weird. Okay, bro, how am I cheating? Tell me right now. I'm the ultimate tech whiz. Who's the one who has a stream open, 2 laptops, and I mean the layout is beginning, but yeah. Don't worry, we'll get to the part where we install sudo. Because I still remember that one line that will tick you off. Running sudo commands in Ubuntu Linux. I bet in his mind he was going, don't you dare say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Too late, buddy. I already said it. I'm evil that way. So 1.0.0. No, your dad does not. Your dad does not own Linux. Last time I checked, your last name is not Torvalds. Alright, just in case, let me double check. SO 1.2.0. Yep, there you go. I know that still ticks you off. That's why I'm never dropping it. So 1.2.0 ITM, that I'm isolating some libraries before I strip them of debugging symbols just to free up space, because if you look at the file difference between them, and I'll do a comparison. So I'm pulling a few libraries aside to keep the debugging symbols, just in case I want to use like a debugger program if I ever want to see what's wrong. Let's see, compress. My last name is TechWiz. No, it's not. We both know it's not. You just got that because you were helping people with like Kahoots and stuff. I also remember that. And yet I was the one with the harder questions because I know more about technology than you do. Alright. OBJ copy, only keep debug. Compress debug sections equals zlib. Our doorbell just went off. I don't know who that is, but then again, probably doesn't matter. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay, we can see 3 of them. Let's see which one has the highest difference. All right, here we go. Lib stdc++. If you see that library right there, it's the green name for that. If you have a look to your left right here with the let's see, there should be a thing for like human readable format. Because I know there should be something with that. No. This is what you call a manual page. Basically, it shows like what the command does. Like for example, this one is ls. It lists out directory contents. You've got the usage for that under the synopsis name. And you've got descriptions with your different options here. Alright. Classify file type. Alright. Actually, there's no really point in using that. Alright, there we go. So what's the difference? Yeah, you can see the standard library here is 21 megabytes, while the debugging symbol for that is just 7.3 megabytes. That light up here is used for facial recognition thing. Good thing with Windows Hello. Now here we go for stripping the libraries. And this one you gotta be careful because this one contains an essential library. Standard C++ library. And if you're not careful, you can render your system unusable. Though, I don't think this one is that bad compared to the standard C library, glibc. And I actually screwed that one up once. I mean, you gotta make the packages for like the base thing. If I ever wanted to do like a live USB thing, like most modern distributions. Like let's take Ubuntu for this. They provide virtual disk images, the ISO files, and then you can run it through like a program like Rufus, which loads it onto like your usual USB right here, this thing, and that's pretty much it. So if I were to load this onto a if I were to load like Redclaw Linux onto a USB, the base packages would be the ones there, and that's what I built first. And then we go to the release things where it's Beyond Linux from scratch. I can get a bit technical with what I say, so if you're confused about something, just go ahead and ask. Also, if there's something that you think I might have an answer to, like just some random question, go ahead and ask as well. This isn't just me here, it's just whatever. Alright. 4x find and find dot type F name all the static libraries. So pretty much what this line is, if you look inside the where you got the $sign there plus the parentheses, basically that's that find command. It's gonna look in the current directory, which is what the dot is for. It's gonna find all the files, which means it's gonna get rid of any directories or symbolic links, as you can see up above with that cyan text. Those are symbolic links as they're pointing to files and stuff. So any directories and links, they're excluded. We're just looking at files. Like for example, these green colored things and the regular white colored things. Or gray if you want to do that. It's kind of hard to tell because of the font I use, but whatever. So it's gonna basically filter out stuff. It's like when you're searching for a file. If you've ever opened up like File Explorer on Windows and you type in the name of, let's say, like a file, and it starts listing off stuff, you can put in like search parameters. If you want like a basic explanation, like let's say you're searching for an image of, let's say, I don't know, a cat. Sometimes I have a hard time explaining stuff. Alright. But basically this filters out everything, so what's going to be returned are just files. And the name things right here, they're going to return every file that ends in A, which are static libraries, and all the files that end in .so, which are shared libraries. The exclamation mark tells find to exclude anything, in this case ending in dbg, which means the standard library here, it's going to fetch this, but not this. I know it's kind of hard to see because I'm pointing at a screen and it's not showing up on the main part of that, but yeah. And then with that list returned, that for command is going to loop through every single file. And in this case, just pretty much strip anything unneeded, including like debugging symbols, which will free up space. File format not recognized. Actually, if you run file gcc that, it just says it's ASCII text. Compared to something like that. Shared object, that is the standard C++ library. Before stripping, it would have said with debug info not stripped. But in this case, it says stripped because we know we stripped that. Alright, back up here. Alright, now you can see it went from 21 megabytes to 2.5. You can see how much that takes out. Alright, and the final part of this, actually, because it's similar to this command here. I'm just gonna take that part, add new debug link. It just links the debugging symbols with the stripped libraries. So, there we go. Alright, go back to this. Redpack install, that's a script I wrote by myself. Basically, it installs what was in that dest directory if you were looking at the file path. And that one is another one I wrote, Redpack Tarball. It just makes what you see in... Alright, let me get rid of that. Release. All those red things there are packed tarballs. As you can see, GCC is one of them. The second column, the first thing in the second column. They're all compressed tarballs and stuff. Think of them as like zip files. Zip files, but for Linux. If you ever have a look at like releases of stuff on, say, GitHub, it'll say like source code, and in parentheses say .zip and .tar.gz. That one's a tarball compressed with gzip, compared to these, which are tarballs compressed with lz4. Something unique. Compared to Linux from scratch version 12, I didn't check 12.1, but 12.2 has, for all I know, introduced lz4. So yeah. Alright, we're done with GCC. That was pretty much just rebuilding it with new dependencies and stuff. This here is a dependency for XFS progs. Now, if you're familiar with like file system formats and all that stuff, like you might have heard NTFS, FAT, exFAT, ext4, 3 and 2, all that stuff. Those are different file systems. Maybe APFS if you're a Mac OS user, or the older HFS Plus and all that stuff. Alright, I should probably scroll down a little too far. Alright. That and Ninja. Basically all this does, it's pretty repetitive. So what we're doing is we're like configuring the package to build for a specific like configuration. Like there's a configure script. In this case, there's a Mason script. And after that, it's all dependent on what build system you use. For example, we use Ninja. There's also Make as well. And then after that, we install it into a special directory where we can just work on it and stuff. Plus, I get to see what stuff is in here. Like this is what installs into the system once it's done. Like for example, here are our include files, the .h. Here are our libraries and any symbolic links if any other packages that depend on it use it. Once you get to know a little bit about it, it's interesting to see like the relationships between different packages. But when you're someone who's building a distribution, dependency I can't speak either. Not only can't I type, I can't speak either. Anyways, when you get to me and you want to build your own distribution, I'm gonna say this off the bat, dependency trees suck. Like, there could be like one package that depends on all these other ones. It's very complex. And plus, when you're listing out like packages one by one, I try not to build them twice unless I absolutely have to. But trying to get them in order when they're all over the place, you don't know if there's like a circular dependency. In that case, you're gonna have to rebuild it twice, but whatever. Alright, I'm gonna go back out here, because I'm also automating this. So I type out commands one by one based on what I wrote in these scripts on this screen right here. Well, that was the same thing. That's not really what I had written in here. What I had written in here was I had that written in there, but I don't know. I was looking at something else. I keep forgetting that some packages go 2 levels in instead of just 1. Now this is built with a configure script, meaning it uses the make build system. Well, it's good. Okay, I have this backwards. Yep, it's a streamer that you'll probably know with their growing grift mass influence of stuff. But I did this just to say that I don't just game. I have other stuff that I like to do, and this is one of them. It's pretty much a passion project I've got. And yeah, what you see here is what's going on the screen on your left. Alright, so we got that. Oh, the warnings. This libtool archive hasn't been installed in user lib. I'm not using the libtool archives. Linux from scratch says they're harmful for cross compilation. Plus, it's like, I don't really need them. Let me look up something real quick, because it says it in BLFS about the archives, and you can access all this online. For my YouTube folks, just go down into the description. Many packages use an internally shipped libtool copy to build on a variety of Unix platforms, such as AIX, Solaris, Irix, HPUX, and COIG1, as well as Linux. The origins of this tool are quite dated. It was intended to manage libraries on systems with less advanced capabilities than a modern Linux system. On a Linux system, libtool-specific files are generally unneeded. Normally, libraries are specified in the build process during the link phase. Since Linux systems use the ELF format, executable and linkable format, and all that stuff for binaries and libraries, Information needed to complete the task is embedded. Static libraries are rarely used. Nowadays, most packages store the information needed for linking against static library in a PC file, PKG config, instead of relying on libtools. So pretty much PKG config is pretty much replaced libtool in some ways. Contain information similar to what's in the libraries themselves or the PKG config files. Can contain a name or a path. Let's see. Sometimes an LA file can contain the name of or path of a static library used during build, but not installed. And the build process will break because those static libraries are just non-existent. Similarly, if a package is updated and no longer uses the LA file, the build process can break with the old LA files. So yeah. But there is one program in BLFS that needs libtool archives, which is Image Magic. I don't need it because it's a GUI program, and at this stage we are not there. As you can see right now, we're still stuck with text-based interfaces. Though we do have a couple of other stuff. For example, top here uses something called a textual user interface, or TUI. If you wanted to know, top is pretty much the Linux version of Task Manager for your shell. I can just look down and see all the processes that are running. Command line is tiny but mighty. Yes, it is quite powerful. Maybe that's why Microsoft made PowerShell and put power in there as like a play on word. Maybe that's why. But yeah, that's pretty much the backbone for most Linux processes. Those graphical interfaces that you see, what's going on in the background are pretty much just these programs. All those binaries. And your graphical interface could be using some of them right now, if you're running Linux. That's why when learning Linux it's a little bit difficult, because pretty much everything runs as this right here. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of that. That'll fix up the lighting issue. Kibits? I've never heard of that. What is this? Allow 2 people to interact with one shell. What's this installed from? Hold on. I've never heard of this program before. Starts a new shell for another program while prompting user 2 to run kibits. Oh, so pretty much, so like two people can use the same shell at the same time. So that's pretty much what it's saying. On a remote computer. R login? Use SSH instead, it's more secure. Alright. POSIX shell script. I think I know what package this was from. If I'm right. Actually, no, I'm not gonna use cat. I'm gonna use less for this. Yep, there you go. It's a expect file. Something in the expect package. And if we did want to see that, push D redpack base that's just directory. Okay, we can see what's in this thing here. Yep, right there. The third program. You've got expect, LP unlock, and kibitz. When I saw TC, what distro is your base system running? Not Redclaw, but the dev environment. Actually, what's running on this laptop is Redclaw. Like, this is the only system that's on here. It's running off the internal storage of this. But when I started, because I started this whole thing on, actually it was my custom built PC, and then I moved to this just for portability. I started building this on Arch Linux, which I did post a video about earlier. And I can see why it's difficult to set up. I mean, not for the setting up part, but for configuring stuff. Like when it came to audio and the graphical interface, that was kind of difficult. I never got audio to work on my custom build, and that one apparently broke. So I might have to re-image it, but if this all works out, I'm gonna have Redclaw running on that instead of Arch. So yeah, once you get this whole thing running, that's pretty much it. Plus, let me start a new thing. I'm on a Fedora derivative called Ultramarine, though I do video editing and how much programming I'm learning. So one site I would recommend, it's for like some of the popular things. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and type it in the chat. That is what I used to teach myself how to code. It was the first thing I saw. And I remember the first language I learned from that was Python. And then I had to look at Java and C++. And plus I learned how to do website stuff, which is how I came to having this. As you can see in the description, that is my website right there. And if you look at that, if you look at the source code for that, I wrote every single thing. I did not use like any kind of frameworks or templates and stuff. That was all pure coding and stuff. So yeah, check out the source code for my website there. Truly amazing. Alright, back to this. Right, I am going to strip some libraries. Now this is when I need to run this. Uh-oh. Alright, what am I missing? In. That's what I'm missing. 4x in that. There we go. We install the package to our system. And then we package it up. Wrong way. Now this showed something different. Basically it packaged the documentation for that, which when you look at it, it's gonna show here. So all these folders here, they have their own separate package just for documentation. Some of them might have like, I don't know, one file. Let's see. Thanks. I actually have this channel as my first programming project. I'm 21 and got a full-time video editing job, so I don't have a lot of time to actually work on programming right now. Gotcha. I mean, if you think about it, IT is a very important thing nowadays. Plus all that AI stuff, that's been accelerating quite quickly. I mean, think about it. We got IoT, Internet of Things, like smart fridges, Apple CarPlay, even those traffic light cameras. Those are IoT devices, and that's why I believe in 2013 we ran out of IPv4 addresses. Because we had so many devices nowadays. But we have solutions like NAT and IPv6 to help. But think about that. More devices than IPv4 addresses is insane. And plus think about it, a large range of IPv4 addresses. So what is Redclaw? I don't see much info on it online. It's not very known. The only people I've showed it to are friends and now you guys. The first releases I posted online were back in 2024, March, I believe. March 2024, those 3 releases of Redclaw for the Raspberry Pi 5. And then I believe in December we had our first release of Redclaw for this. Though it doesn't work. Even after you do everything right, Grub doesn't work. Like, it literally doesn't. Oh, it's your own distro setup? That's so sick. I know. That's why I call it one of my passion projects. I've spent a lot of time doing this. Even though I do stream a lot, I've got school, I've got my job, I've even got the National Guard. And yet I still find time to do stuff like this. Not only is it fun, it's also challenging. As I said before, when it comes to building your own Linux distribution, once you get into it, I find it interesting how like packages relate to each other. But one negative thing is dependency trees suck. It's not even a tree. You could think of it as like a giant web and stuff. And you might even come across circular dependencies. Hold on. I know that there's one that's shown here. Harf Buzz. Graphite and Harfbuzz, they are font packages. Like I said, we're not even close to this yet. I mean, So what do you think about Arch Linux after saying Gentoo and LFS? Because when it comes to managing that stuff, even I found that difficult. Like I said, I couldn't get audio working on my custom build for that. Work on very large videos with a team up to 3 people, often alone for businesses, so video editing takes up most of my life. But one day, I want to get into IT, if not Comp C. That's cool. I'm actually aiming for like a degree in cybersecurity. And if that doesn't work out, I have computer science as a backup major. Though first I have to get out of high school. So yeah. And that's what I'm aiming for Redclaw to be. The thought of Redclaw began, like I said, back in March. Pretty much, it was in my cybersecurity class for, and we were, what was it? We were in the cryptology, the cryptography. I still can't speak. We were in our cryptography unit, and there were times when we would do like capture the flag stuff on Kali Linux. And randomly in my mind, I thought of, hey, how about I make my own Linux distribution? Well, first it was like, I want to make my own operating system. But when I thought back to Linux from scratch, because yes, that teaches you how to do all that stuff for free. I'm like, you know what, I'll build a Linux system. I'll start off with the Raspberry Pi. I want to make it similar to Kali and all that stuff. And of course I had the thought of like, Kali is Debian based, it uses DPKG. So how about we do Redclaw with RPM based stuff? But then as I dove deeper into the project with Linux from scratch and everything from source packages, how about I make my own package manager? So that's where Redpack came into view as well. So yeah, I pushed a 4th build on January 10th for the Raspberry Pi, and so far that's the only build that works. The setup script is broken, so I posted a video the same day that it released. Basically how to do this manually, how to use like shell commands and all that stuff, and I made it run off of this thing. This is what I've gotten here is like another copy Redclaw Linux. Yeah. Anyway, let's see, we packed that up. I like Arch, but I'm lucky enough that all my hardware plays nice, no special blob drivers needed. I mean, honestly, what I do is if I were to build it from scratch, I would use the entire like Linux firmware package, and that is a pretty big package. It wasn't until like a few weeks ago that I found the copy firmware shell script, which you can pass either XZ or Z standard to compress the firmware images. That also means rebuilding the kernel to enable support for compressed firmware blobs, which is what we've got here. Firmware. If you have a look in this directory for Arch, it's all Z standard compressed stuff, but for this one it's XZ compressed. What GUIs, if any, do you plan or want to ship with Redclaw? I mean, based on what I've got here in like the things provided with BLFS, the closest thing I would get, because I want this to be able to run on older systems. So I'm thinking like XFCE. I mean, I could use LXQT, but what's the description for this? XFCE embodies the traditional Unix philosophy of modularity and reusability. Number of components that provide the full functionality one can expect of a modern desktop environment. And plus, it aims to be fast and low on system resources. So yeah, I would use this. This one right here, XFCE. That was actually a difficult thing, thinking long term for how Redclaw is gonna run. I'm like, let's see, which one's better? Should I use XFCE or LXQT? And I know for LFS version 12, it had LXDE in there, which is basically a GTK based version, while this one's Qt based. I use Budgie right now. Cool. Yeah, the other stuff we've got is KDE. I know that one uses a lot of system resources. Hold on, I think it says it here. Huge number of applications for huge amount of users. Yeah, I wouldn't use this for Redclaw. Like, good God. I wouldn't use this one either. Just because it also uses a lot of system resources, but not as much as KDE. So I'd rather go with like these two. This one also has some dependencies from KDE for this one. But yeah, so far, this is the best fit, XFCE. And then the other question was, what do I use? Do I use Xorg or do I use Wayland? And like, Wayland is more modern. I mean, Raspberry Pi OS uses it. I mean, I know they support both, but if I still want to go for like a legacy thing, I mean, honestly, I think I'd go with X11. Just because. And plus, when you look through some of the packages here, like, what was it? Harfbuzz. Nah, that'd be graphite. Maybe. Hold up, let me find one. Let me find one real quick. Yeah, Cairo. This one right here. A recommended thing is Xorg libraries. Even though I know you can run Wayland on top of X11. Like I said, I just want it for like backwards compatibility. Yeah, for legacy hardware. That's why I also chose XFCE, because if I want this to run on older systems, I'd go for this. See, I'm thinking X11 with LightDM as a display manager and XFCE as the desktop environment. Yeah. Alright, so we already did liburcu. Alright, this one. So yeah, I'm building, but I'm also testing, because I want to automate this. I already automated building the entire system straight, like, from square one. Hold on, not that one. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of scripts right here. Like you've got the different processes, like build the cross-compile tools, the virtual file systems, system 1, system 2, configure the system with like the bash setup scripts and stuff. I got those in there. You got the build kernel, you got another thing here, like your firmware, make a RAMFS. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Bro, I don't care phone. Alright, so we're already here. Alright, I'm already there. This one takes a decent amount of time compared to others. I also find these kind of satisfying to see as each thing keeps compiling. Like, it just I don't know, it just makes me it satisfies me. That's all I'm gonna say. I find it satisfying. Plus what each thing does. The depths part, I don't know what that is. You've also got some of your warnings there. That whole vomit thing. What's your thoughts on ZSH? I mean, I haven't used it that much. I know Kali uses that by default, I believe. I'm more used to Bash. Plus, that's default package for Linux from scratch. That's a base package for that. You won't be able to uninstall it just because some scripts that I wrote are going to use Bash, just because of like the logic for all that. Like, for example, let's take a look at the packing thing. You can see there, I got the shebang up there. You've got the case thing. It's just all the syntax and stuff. It's just built for Bash. Plus the script itself for Redpack is also written in Bash. So yeah, there are going to be some packages that are required for Redclaw. Like, for example, all the Linux from scratch stuff. All the things that they list for Linux standard space, I believe. That and POSIX. FHS, I believe, as well. Ultramarine uses ZSH by default, and I've gotten used to it. It's good. I think ZSH is bash script compatible if you fix up the shebangs. I mean, if you want to give this a shot, I could use some testers and all that stuff, even though I haven't pushed out like a development build for release candidate 2 for this one. So yeah, if we have a look at the standards here, we've got the structure of that, follows it closely. So yeah, it also follows these requirements here, even though I don't think they follow LSB anymore. But I know they follow this. And this. I think LSB stopped at like version 5, I believe. Yeah, version 5. What does it say? 2015. This edition is not to be considered an ISO standard. Valid. Linux standards. Linux standard base. So it was an attempted way to standardize like how each distribution. Let's see the Wikipedia article. A joint project with several distributions under the structure of the Linux Foundation to standardize the software system structure, including FHS. Let's see. February 7, 2023, a former maintainer of LSB wrote, the LSB project is essentially abandoned. I mean, you've got all these different distributions that do their own thing, and I can see why the project was abandoned. ZSH is not bash compatible. My bad. Should have Googled it before I spoke. I mean, that's okay. We're learning stuff. Like I said, I'm not streaming this just for me. I want to at least like share my knowledge and stuff and know what other people are up to when it comes to Linux. If there's anyone that you think like is also into Linux, have them check out these Redclaw streams. Lib ICU SO 75.1. Nope, go back. Redpack. I still can't type. My god. Release ICU 75.1. There we go. That went in 2 directories deep, so it's going out 2 directories deep. Alright, and here we go for XFS progs. The XFS file system or something like that. Sometimes packages don't use a configure, like they just go straight to the make file and don't use like the configure script. Probably because they don't have it. Oh, never mind. I don't know why the instructions in BLFS didn't say like, hey, use the configure script. I think they just said no, use these instructions instead. Install user group root. I think that was it right there. Those checking things. I know it probably ran that. Building different things and linking at the end. Make .0 I also try to move stuff around before I package stuff up because, and I've seen this in like the utilities for file system stuff, like NTFS had it, JFS had it, and this has it. Like some of the binaries and libraries are not in the user directory. And plus, if you have a look at the root thing here, bin, lib, and sbin are all symbolic links to this in here. Will Redclaw come with sudo? Yes, it will. Plus, it's even in the book. It's even in the book. Alright, so I already did the install and the install dev. Move all this stuff into user lib. I mean, if you have a look at the history for hold up. If you have a look at the history of Unix and Linux and how the system's set up, they had /bin as like the essential programs and stuff. Because if you're thinking about this, back then they were running these things off of floppy disks. And everything in the user directory is too big to fit on a single floppy disk. So they put all the essential stuff on here, like the like maybe the C library. I know init's gonna be on there, cause that's essentially like the main system daemon for that. Some other utilities you need, like ls and all that stuff, and all the other things would be in that user directory. So it's also cool to look back into the history of Linux and see how far it's come. Essentially, most of the devices around the world run Linux. Maybe not on your computer, but I know Roku runs it. Even my VR headset runs it. And it's quickly spread the whole hundreds of distributions, all because open source software, and that's amazing. That's why GitHub's a thing. We can thank Linus Torvalds for Linux and Git. Alright, so we moved those. Now we can get rid of... we don't need those anymore.
I was born into a Linux family. I have only used Linux somehow.
I was born into a Linux family. I've only used Linux, haha. I mean, Linux can't do everything, because we all know the most used operating system is Windows. And plus I'm using it to stream and yeah, but I feel like I know more about Linux than I do Windows. Then again, it's more like a balancing. Like I know both of them equally, because I took a GFACT certification. You can see that on the about page on my website. My GFACT certification. It teaches you both Linux and Windows. Maybe a bit of the basics of like PowerShell. Like there's get and set commands for that. And yet I barely know anything about PowerShell. FreeBSD in the future. I mean, I try those in like virtual machines and stuff. I mean, who knows? Alright, here we go. We're getting into some more interesting stuff. XML2. That. in middle school and high school we used Chromebooks, so even in school I never used Windows or Mac OS. I mean, pretty much Mac OS, if used in school, could be for like video editing or some stuff like that. Like Final Cut Pro, maybe some Adobe stuff. Yeah. I'm not really a fan of Mac OS. I mean, it's also not a widely used operating system, but I feel like it's more restrained. And plus Apple and their overpriced stuff anyways. Eh. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Just meh. Our family, we use Windows. I use Linux and Windows. And we all use Androids. We don't deal with any iPhone stuff. Unless it's like work related. Like Dad has an iPhone for work stuff. Hashtag government. Well, government contractor. XML2 that. XML2 that. Let's see, sed libs s XML2 star XML that. Boom. We took those electric programming and photography class. There you go. Photoshop and stuff. All the beauty, like the studio with Mac stuff. I wonder what they'd be what Macs would be used for programming. I mean, I don't know. I would have said like Windows or Linux for programming stuff. I mean, if you want to talk about like C++ or C, you've got Microsoft, you've got Visual Studio, and then you've got GCC. I would say those are the two most popular ones. Plus on my on my custom built, I've got Windows subsystem for Linux on there, but I haven't really used it much. Now that I have first of all a separate computer, but before that a separate like solid state drive for that to run Arch off of. So I've got two solid state drives in my custom built. Dest user bin catalog lint dest user libxml so 2.13.3 Python packages to mod.so. I feel like there's something else that I'm missing. Maybe. Nah, never mind. They messed with Arduino devices in programming class. I also think we had a web dev elect elective that. Fair enough. Honestly, I would have thought like they'd use like Windows for like Arduino and stuff. I mean, along with Arduino, they could also mess around with some Raspberry Pi stuff. And you can run that right off the Raspberry Pi. You don't need like a separate computer for all that. Because Raspberry Pi, you can just run like a Linux system off of that. Like, that's amazing. I even managed to play Java Minecraft off of it. Sure, it gets most 20 to 30 FPS, but it still works. This is why Java is cool. You can run it on multiple systems. I mean, it's not an interpreter. It's not a compiled language either. It's just bytecode. So you can compare it to like C++, which is compiled. Java is transpiled, I think. That's what it's called. It compiles the source code into bytecode. Then that engine just runs the bytecode. I feel like it's the same for like C# as well. And you've got Python, an interpreted language. Alright, so remove that. This one takes a while to configure because I feel like it configures every single program that comes with it individually instead of just separate. Actually, what I'll do just so that I can have a clean start again. Pretty much what I did is the T command when you pipe out stuff. My phone died. So there goes my camera. You lost the camera feed. Yeah. I should probably plug that in. Silly me. I'll be right back while this continues to do stuff. Actually, I'm gonna wait. Once this is done, I'm going to go get my charger. I'm gonna take a nap for a bit. It's been fun. Have a good one. And Redclaw's bookmarked in my browser. Not only did you bookmark Redclaw, but you've also bookmarked my website. So if you want to check that out, feel free. I mean, Redclaw Linux isn't the only thing that I've been working on. Also in that cryptography unit, when we were talking about like algorithms and stuff, like the encryption, decryption, I made my own. Not gonna guarantee it's secure though, it's just like base 64 and all that stuff and a whole bunch of shifting. But yeah, that's cool. Alright, examples is the last one, okay. Make, and I'll be right back! am back. I saw that thing cut out. Luckily I have this thing going through a capture card. I say card, yet I mean adapter. Hold up. No, it's probably the wrong thing. Here we go, yeah. Let's see, plug it in that way. I'll just wait a few minutes for my phone to go up a little bit. I really like that docking station I have for my laptop. And that's the one with the colorful keyboard. Alright. That's why I decided to put both feet up there. Yep. Those red things that you saw, that red vomit right there. That's the, libtool says that these haven't been installed there. You should probably install them once this is done. I'm not gonna do that. I don't need the libtool archives. Unless it comes to me building image magic, which does need them. I'm gonna pass on that. Preloadable. We're just enabling the execute permissions for that. The wonderful world of Base 8. The octal numbering system for Linux file permissions. 7 is pretty much read, write, and execute. 5 is read and execute. 4 is read, and 6 is read and write. It's like bits. As you can see right there, the 755. You've got 7. If you convert 7 to binary, it's 3 ones. Because if you're looking at a base 2 system, base 2 0 is 0, base 2 1 is 1, base 2 1 0 is 2. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and write this out. I'm gonna write them as separate. 1 1 1 1 0 0 1 and 1 0 1. That's pretty much what it means. So yeah, 755. And you can kind of see how that lines up. The letters stand for ones, the dashes stand for zeros. Oh, come on. Alright, 1% is good enough. All I need to do is just keep charging and we're good. Alright, so user share info. Come on. I removed some libtool archives plus the dir file. Now basically what that is, if I run info file dir, it's the top of the info tree. Basically it's your library that lists out every single info file there is. So like we've got a whole bunch of stuff for the C library, all those functions there. We've got all these get text utilities. Oh, we don't need to go back up there. GNU library, some more libraries. I don't know why these are different. That one's a lowercase and this one's an uppercase. Organization standards, packages, individual utilities. We've got autoconf, automake, autoconf, core utils, some of the basic things that a Linux system needs to run efficiently. Alright, yeah, I already got your text. Unlock my secure folder. Alright. I just opened up DroidCam and it's gonna do that by itself. Maybe. Let me have a look at something. Phone. Deactivate, activate. I probably have to open it up again. Let me open it up again. Yeah, continue the app. Activate. It's on the same network. And they're both opened up. I don't really know what the problem is. Oh, there we go. We got the feedback up. So, yeah. You can see here we've already got a whole bunch. And then that dir file, third file in the second column, basically just like a directory listing pretty much in its own separate format. I just printed the entire history of all the commands I've run in this session. Bin, comma, lib, get text. Of course, I'm running it off of these right here, because I've already configured these things. Like, I've already written out different commands for this. Why did it go out? Hold on. Let me try something real quick. Maybe charging phone only. Because it was just working. Yeah, I don't know why it cut out. App stopped, restart. That's nice. Camera 2, camera 3. Oh. Alright, yeah. Camera 2. If we zoom in, you can see for like get text here, I already did the whole thing for this with the red pack thing. But if we keep going down, we can pass by some Python modules. I have a separate way of handling the installation of those. Let's see. What's one that I haven't touched yet? Oh, this right here. Screen. I haven't touched this yet. So you can see it already makes references to the root directory. They don't have the red pack things, and I haven't gotten to them yet, which means I don't know how these are laid out. but later I'll get to them. And we're actually kind of close there. If we're at get text, the next thing is this one. Now I've also got some post configure things like, all right, hold on. Let me show you this one. It's this file up here. All that stuff was catalog stuff. Sorry, that's the charging cable. But yeah. You've got all this stuff here. Alright, back to this. So I have it to run any pre-configure scripts, and then installs the package, runs any post-configure scripts, then it's done. If you're uninstalling, it'll run any uninstall scripts it needs to, so that nothing goes wrong and I render the system unusable. And then I get rid of the package. Alright, so we're currently at... Let's see, I just did the strip command. But I'm not done quite yet. I don't know why. Sometimes it takes a while to install, and the packaging thing I get. If it's a big package, then it's gonna take a while because it's gotta compress a whole bunch of data. Oh wait, no, we're not doing that. We're doing... Because this one, docbook.xml, is a zip file. I can combine these two. etc/xml, comma that. There. And there we go. Plus, that's why I use the bash shebang, because I know for syntax like that, I can just easily compress some things and save some space. All right, so there's that. CPAV. As you can see there, that's going to expand to star.dtd, star.mod. Let's see, we're going to get ent, which is a directory, docbook.cat, user share, that. There's one thing I was forgetting. No. There we go. I mean, it's all gonna be owned by root anyway, until we get to like SSH, Fcron, one of them, XM, which is the mail transport agent, something required by LSB. Let's see, so we got that. Now I've got Nano installed. So pretty much what I showed over here, I put on a USB and I transferred it over here. So yeah, pretty much what we're gonna do here. Hey, I didn't say you could fall asleep. I didn't say you could fall asleep. Okay. Now it's not gonna install that post configure script there because I didn't write the program to do so. But when packing, it does. 4.5. As you can see here, not found, done, and then not found. It's because it found post configure and it copied it over. If you have a look at the dest, there it is. What you see here is going to be the root layer for each tarball. As each package here that I'm building, I'm making it so that when you extract it, it's built to just extract right out the root directory. So yeah. And after that, we can just run, because I do believe we do have our XML directory in etc. And of course there's nothing there. But after we run that, I'll look again, there are our things. I don't know why I created DocBook and DocBook empty. And my phone died again. Apparently the app was stronger than the charging cable, so we're gonna have to wait for that to charge a little bit more. A little bit more. So yeah, the feed cut out again. But like I said, we still have this going to a capture card, so we're all good. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this real quick. Because we don't need these anymore. I got rid of the uninstall things for this. Because this is a required package. This is not going to be removed. You're gonna have this forever, pretty much. But I do have those post configure things, even though you don't really need them. But anyways, get rid of that. And I can just repackage the entire thing, and it's gonna overwrite the existing tarball right there. And if we get rid of those, what we should get instead are just 2 files, and there we go. You got 2 files there instead. That means I should also get rid of them too. That also means I have to edit the style sheet one as well. Except that one just does catalog. It doesn't do catalog and docbook. Non-S, that just stands for no namespace. DocBook XSL, no namespace, 1.79.2. XSL. Okay, yep. Alright, so I edited that, I just want to have a look at something real quick. Okay. I might just edit the file now. Never mind. There we go. We're just gonna get rid of this thing right here. There we go. Stack fix. Docs. Strip components. Alright, this one's gonna be a long one. That one's going to expand to HTML help, Java help, and web help, all at the same time. Template. Oh, yep, there you go. So did I type this in wrong? Okay, it is not an underscore, it is a dash. Let me fix that real quick. Fixed. I might have to fix that somewhere else now. Yep, fix that. Oh, I dropped my microphone on my keyboard. All that documentation over there. Yep. Okay. This one's supposed to be a dependency for GNU-PG or GPG, which is actually going to be another package, but not a required one. GPG error. Alright, and that's been installed. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, that I typed in while it was going on.
Somebody's shit be done.
I'm sorry about that. My mom came in. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Just had to put some stuff away. SSLT mod. Alright, let's see. XSLT. Install. Actually, I want to test something, because I have something at the very end of this script here where I rebuild Ninja, and I don't know, there's a, wait, hold on, before I do that, okay, I've already got ASCII doc installed, which is another Python thing. Sed basically what this is doing it's just making Ninja recognize a variable. So like for make, it's got make flags, most notably the one for parallel builds. Like, you can specify a number of chords and stuff you want to do. I don't know what that is. Home end insert. If J 0, return J. I'm just gonna bootstrap it. Build Ninja from nothing. That's pretty much what it is. This is kind of like the thing where it's like, it makes a binary out of nothing, and then that compiled binary makes itself again. I screwed something up. Equals 4. Let's look at the set command thing. Let's see. Oh, that's why. I put a bracket instead of a parenthesis. Or brace instead. It's a brace. Yep. Bootstrapping. The source code creates a program, and that program pretty much compiles itself. It's good for like optimization and stuff. Alright, that looks... Alright. That looks promising. There we go. Bootstrap complete. Rebuilding. It's rebuilding itself. Alright, Link Ninja. Now this line here isn't present in the instructions, but I want to at least create some documentation for it. That's just the HTML file for it. Uh-oh. Help. Attribute backend, doc type. Now that we've got docbook installed, and I saw a thing for man pages with docbook XSL, I want to go ahead and try that. This time I'm going to do ninja.1 and do D man page. Or not. Malformed man page title, malformed name section body. Unless I have to specify backend for it. Docbook. Huh. Let me try book. Okay, that's not really helpful. I might have some luck using links. And that's pretty much a text-based browser that's being included with Redclaw. Just because this is a text-based interface doesn't mean that I can't include a web browser for it. It's not going to be the best, but it's what I have. Unless I had to do something for XDG. BLFS. Sometimes I like looking back at the book for help. You don't know when you might need it. Let's see, it's all the way down here. Okay. Never mind. Alright. Here comes Python module galore. Okay. What did I type wrong? There we go. Yeah, I typed it incorrectly. My bad. Escape backspace. Scroll down. Not only am I building packages that are required for Redclaw, I'm also making some extra stuff, like CMake isn't going to be required. There's some modules that will not be required. Its tool, basically the documentation generation stuff that makes like documentation out of the source code for a package, that's not going to be a required thing. Let's see. But in order to make the documentation tarball, I do need these installed. .py. Smarty pants. Amazing, isn't it? Alright, smarty pants. XF typography. And why I'm not making these Python modules separate Redpack packages, it's because Jinja 2, something systemd requires, is very stubborn. Like it'll say, oh, we can't find markup safe, which is a dependency of Jinja 2. And so it can't install in a target directory. Even when I install Markdown in that same thing, it still won't do anything. That's why you don't see like any Redpack install stuff. But I did write install scripts for him. So they'll still be listed as like Python dash whatever the name is, like Python dash path spec. It's just not going to be in a tarball, it's going to be in a setup script. So I'm still planning out Redpack. And I have some ideas in mind. I'm just making these so that I can play around with them and see how well they work. That's why this one is also a little bit tedious. And the one that takes longest. Because you also have to have a clean system to start all the base packages in. For example, make, it's got a dependency with Guile, but if Guile doesn't exist, then make is just built without Guile. So I make all the base packages for like the Linux from scratch stuff first, and then as I keep going, we grow our system more and we spit out more release packages. And maybe some extra packages. Alright, findest, setup, tools, SCM. SCM. Why am I typing that in? I've got these for a reason. This is why readline is a thing. And something I can rely on Bash to use. Because Bash is built with readline support. All those modules, starting from Smarty Pants up, all go into this one module, Hatchling. And I don't know why, it just seems weird. And then it all goes into pigments. This is why I've also got setup scripts, because the file for pigments is lowercase, but the name of the module is in uppercase. So it's kind of hard to tell. And plus, if you add support for more modules, it's just gonna get difficult. I'm just gonna say that. Now this is an important one. If I want to write some documentation. utils.py gidocgen return code proc error s that. Okay. And same thing here. gidocgen in the file name has an underscore, but the module name has a dash. And see, it even uses markup safe in Jinja as well. It's kind of weird. Wait, do I not have this one downloaded? No, I do not. Okay, give me a moment. Gotta edit, gonna add this. It's tool. Like that. Alright, I do believe internet is working. Let's go. Alright. Oh, okay. Set. Resub / resub R. Oh, that's why. A typo. And there's no stripping here or moving because the whole thing looks good, so we can just skip ahead. This is an example of an extras package. Like, I don't need it. Like, I'm not gonna push it out as a requirement to have. So yeah, there we go. Now glib. This is a giant one. And this is the thing that broke on my Arch Linux thing. So I can't really do anything without it. Now this one is also with a circular dependency. Although the setup page for this actually does a great job of recompiling this thing. So that's cool. Ninja. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what Ninja does. Just uses that bottom line right there. Although it's just like the bottom line for that. The lowest line. Lowest line possible. It does it all in one line. And if there's an error, it just spits it out. So yeah, this package is gonna be the last one to compile, and then I'm gonna end the stream because I gotta eat and then prepare for another Among Us VR stream at 7:30. Here's all the linking. All the linking stuff takes the least time. Mason is a Python thing. Ninja can be packaged by itself. Now I'm gonna do the install thing first, but we're not gonna pack it up because there's more stuff we need to do. Oh, I need to fix this because that is not gonna work. Just something in the script, not for what you see there. Alright, test. Yep. And this is another one that builds documentation. I don't really see why I'm gonna remove that because it's all gonna be removed later. So I'm just gonna remove it from there, but still. That de-introspection disable thing, this is what we're building next. This one's the circular dependency for this. And that's why we build GTKdoc, because you can make some documentation with GTKdoc for GObject. Alright. Ninja. GI build. This is a normal thing. Oh. Something didn't go right. Simple if def or end if. I don't know what happened there. I genuinely don't know. I typed in everything right. Let me try that again. Nah, it's not gonna do anything. Not a dynamic executable. Huh. I mean, GIR scanner, I do believe, is an optional thing. That's what the Mako and Markdown modules are for. Like, this has never happened before. I don't know what's going on. It's probably something wrong that I typed. I think there might be like some logs or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna end the stream now. I'll see you all back at... Michael, could you not? I'll see you all back at 7:30 for the Among Us VR stream. And yeah. And hopefully I can figure out what I screwed up for glib. Or at least for G-object introspection. glib itself is fine. It's just the introspection data that something's not working right. But yeah.